Have you ever noticed that some people only respect you in the beginning? Like when they first meet you, they're thoughtful, they're careful, they respect your time, they respect your boundaries. But then something happens. The longer they know you, the more comfortable they become. The comments become bolder, the assumptions become bigger, the boundaries become blurrier. And I've always found this very interesting because not everybody does this. Some people become more respectful as the relationship deepens, but others become less respectful. Why? That's what I want to talk about today. Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Nancy Glow, and on this channel, I share reflections on womanhood, self-awareness, intentional living, personal growth, and everyday life. Sometimes that looks like fashion, beauty, and lifestyle content. Other times, it looks like conversations like this, where we take everyday situations and use them as a lens to better understand ourselves and the world around us. Because I'm less interested in what happened and more interested in what happened reveals about us. Today, I want to talk about overfamiliarity. More specifically, why do people become overfamiliar? Is it something they can control? And what does it reveal about a person's self-awareness, emotional maturity, and healing? So let's get ready and talk about it. We all know this person. The friend who starts making slick comments, the family member who starts overstepping, the coworker who starts getting too comfortable, the person who begins treating access like entitlement. You know exactly who I'm talking about. And if we're being honest, most of us have experienced this at some point. But here's the question. Why does it happen? Because familiarity alone can't be the answer. Everyone becomes familiar, but not everyone becomes entitled. So what's actually going on? So here's my first theory. Maybe the simplest answer is that people stop being intentional. When people first meet you, they're paying attention. They're trying to make a good impression. They're monitoring their behavior. They're being mindful. But over time, some people stop paying attention. And that's not necessarily because they're malicious, but they become too comfortable. So that question then leads me to ask, why do some people stay mindful while others become careless? Here's my second theory. I did my top brows without doing my bottom brows first. Oh well, let's get it over with. Anyway, this is where things get interesting. Some people begin with gratitude, but over time, gratitude turns into expectations. Expectations turns into assumptions. And assumptions turns into entitlement. They stop viewing access as a privilege and start viewing it as something they're owed. That means your time, your attention, your energy, your availability. And oftentimes, that's where the overstepping begins. And then that leads me to my third theory. And I need you to brace yourself because this one is a little uncomfortable. Because what if the person didn't actually change? What if they simply stopped managing themselves? Because most times when people first meet you, they're presenting their best selves. And I think that's like most of us. We're not showing our full selves when people first meet us. At least I'm not. I had to pause and make sure that was slick because there was no way I was going to be able to do that and talk at the same time. When people first meet you, they're showing their best selves, but maintaining that actually takes effort. Maintaining self-control takes effort. Maintaining respect takes effort. So sometimes comfort doesn't change a person. Sometimes it reveals them. My fifth theory, or is that my fourth theory? I think that was my fourth theory. Yeah, my fourth theory, I might have messed up these numbers. And this is the part that I find the most interesting. Healthy people understand that closeness does not eliminate respect. And I gotta pause again because trying to make sure these eyebrows are crisp, and I can't do that while I'm talking. Okay, got it. Healthy people understand that closeness does not eliminate respect, like I said. In fact, closeness should deepen respect. But people who oftentimes have unhealthy relationships with boundaries struggle here. They may confuse access with ownership. They may confuse familiarity with permission. They may confuse closeness with control. And when that happens, overfamiliarity becomes less about comfort and more about your unresolved issues. And here's my fifth theory. My fifth theory has to do with the fact that sometimes it's not comfort. Sometimes it's ego. If we're close, I should be able to say whatever I want. Those be the ones, bro. Those be the ones. If we're friends, you shouldn't be offended. If you notice what's happening, the relationship is being centered around their comfort, not mutual respect. And I think that's where things begin to break down. Now, here's where things get a little uncomfortable. Because it's easy to think about the people who have done this to you. You could probably think about somebody right now. I can think of a few. But have you ever done it? Have you ever mistaken someone's grace for permission to speak to them any kind of way? Have you ever become so comfortable with someone that you stop being as mindful as you were in the beginning? Have you ever assumed that just because someone gave you access to their life, their time, or even their space, that the same rules of respect no longer applied? Yeah, girl. Let's talk about it. Because maybe overfamiliarity isn't just something we experience. Maybe it's something we all have the capacity to become. Okay. The blush was going a little too crazy. Usually I put some on my forehead when I do my blush, and I did it this time, but I didn't realize that I put a little bit too much blush, so I had to do a whole bunch of blending and whatnot off camera because it was getting a little scary at first, but we figured it out. Most times I love to put blush like on my forehead to add just a little bit of color. But like I was saying, I think this is just a learning moment for all of us. And just a few things to remember is that access is not privilege. That somebody, no matter how long you've known them, does not mean you just have the full right to just do whatever. Your familiarity with someone should not reduce consideration. In all honesty, your closeness should deepen your respect. If indeed this is somebody that you do respect. And honestly, why would you be around someone you don't respect in the first place? Why would you don't respect them, but you're around them? Anyway, I guess that's a conversation for another day. I do believe that healthy relationships should require ongoing intentionality. The people closest to you deserve your best, not your leftovers, you know? So maybe overfamiliarity really isn't about comfort. Maybe it's about what that comfort reveals. Because some people become more respectful as the relationship deepens. So it's not necessarily that everybody is just out here becoming overfamiliar. So what are they doing that other people are not doing? Do you get what I mean? And while some people become more respectful, other people become more entitled. So that's definitely something to really hone in on and look at and see, you know, why are some people capable of doing one thing and then others are not capable of doing that? And I think that's something that's worth paying attention to, worth observing, both in others and in ourselves, like in our whatever relationships we have, be it friendship, be it, marriage. Are you evaluating yourself? Do you have control over yourself? Do you know when you maybe have crossed the line? And if you have crossed the line, are you able to check yourself and say, you know what? I might have gone too far. Let me pull it back a little bit. That's not to say you shouldn't feel comfortable around your loved ones or anything like that, but I personally believe that you should never be too comfortable around anyone. And to go even a step further, I believe that you shouldn't even be too comfortable with yourself. You should constantly be working on yourself and constantly be asking yourself questions. In this area, how can I improve? This is to me is a part of self-awareness. If you can call yourself to order before someone else has to call you to order. I think that's so important in as individuals. And I think these also play a part in why some of us take people for granted. You get too comfortable. That person is in your life for so long. It's like, oh yeah, she ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. I could do whatever I want. Those are the things that we as individuals should pay attention to. Are there areas in our life where maybe I might have been too comfortable and maybe said what I shouldn't have said or done what I shouldn't have done? And although that person maybe didn't check me or say anything, right? Because that person should also instill boundaries. But you should have boundaries within yourself to know, I done gone too far. Let me dial it back. Those are just my theories, my thoughts. And I think these are worth paying attention to within ourselves. Because as I always say, it's easy to point fingers. It's easy to see when other people have done those things, right? It's much harder to check yourself. It's much harder to look at yourself and be like, have I done that? Do I do that? Am I doing that? I'm trying to clean and talk and do makeup at the same time. I don't know if it's OCD or what I've got going on, but cannot have a messy area whatsoever. So forgive me if you hear a lot of clucka in the background. All in all, I think that's worth paying attention to. And with that, we are all done. So now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on overfamiliarity? Leave your comments down below. If you're new and you like my channel, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell so you get notifications when my new videos come out. Okay, bye.